Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis. And today we have a lot of things to discuss. Definitely stay tuned to the end of this video. This is not for engagement purposes or anything like that. We just have a ton of things to really kind of address. So with that in mind, going back a few days ago, we talked about Coinbase being a target from the SEC. We also talked about issues arising for crypto with, them going after larger exchanges as well, and what this could do in regards to risk for, crypto. Today, we got this announcement. The U.S. federal prosecutors are seeking records on the Binance CEO for crypto money laundering probe. This is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. This is interesting. Now, going back a few months ago, we did see a few announcements specifically regarding the SEC's overreach on exchanges. In fact, we did make a video on this. We talked about Johnny Deaton's stance as well, where he was discussing the fact that the SEC has not given clear guidance on what deems a security or a currency within this market. And in fact, we actually have a broad picture on almost every single digital asset besides Bitcoin being a security. That does include even Ethereum. Why is this a big problem? Well, if that is the case, every single one of these cryptocurrency exchanges are operating illegally in the sense of the SEC. This is something to be concerned about. I don't think that this should stop you from being invested into crypto or anything like that. To me, a lot of this negative news will be orchestrated to not only support individuals' agendas, but also for a lot of individuals to actually be feared out of this market. We've seen a lot of things happening. Like when you do look at some of these tweets, you do see like tweets like this in response to it, where you do see like, Bitcoin going to zero and stuff like that. To me, I think that this is just all nonsense. But we have been watching a few things like this because we still have, a little bit of time in the fall time frame for this crypto market to fully bottom out. But to me, I have been buying, I have been DCing in no matter what we do kind of see within the news outlet media. More so like if we do see negative news, I buy. If we do see like positive news, I kind of sell. And that has been working fairly well for the past few years. But when we look at what is happening, right? When we look at a lot of these crypto exchanges, why is this a main focus point for anybody who is a part of crypto? Well, first off, you should not be holding any of your assets on these exchanges. I always really kind of put all of my exchanges on a ledger, and it has, to me, allowed me to sleep safely at night knowing that my crypto is stored in cold storage. I don't like to hold any of my crypto on these exchanges because at any moment in time, we could have something like this happen, which could easily spiral out of control in order for for example, an exchange locking individuals out. You could see, a lot of these exchanges kind of shutting down due to, a lot of issues happening legality-wise. So to me, I don't hold any of my crypto assets on exchanges. But when we look at these exchanges being targeted, what is the, motive here? Well, it's the SEC. The SEC is looking at a lot of these crypto exchanges, and they are going to continue this war on crypto. I think that this is a disgusting overreach in regards of power plays. I also do think that, and a lot of individuals will argue against me, but I do think that this is them trying to kill crypto within the United States because it poses a major risk to the financial system. A system that is overly controlled by middlemen that are making a ton of money hand over fist on every single transaction. So when we look at this and you go after a monopoly like this, you will see this asset class being targeted greatly. Now within this, we also did see an announcement going back as far as August 4th, where we did see every US crypto exchange and Binance is being investigated by the SEC. And going back to this recent investigation, this is September 1st, this is today, or I should say yesterday, because this will go live after midnight. But this is talking about Binance US. This is talking about the CEO. This is also talking about a lot of things within the payment gaps, transactions, things like that. Just for an example, we do see like as of July, controlled over half of the world's largest crypto trading markets, processing transactions worth more than $2 trillion that month alone. So this is substantial. Like I said, Binance is one of the largest exchanges in the entire world around crypto. And in the US, we've seen a lot of these exchanges really kind of being in the crosshairs of regulators. We do see that crypto exchanges are under increasing scrutiny in the United States, where top government figures, including Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, this year have publicly backed greater regulation of the sector. Like I said, these exchanges will most likely be, targeted even more and more. And it is getting really kind of disgusting to see a lot of this, regulatory path just being a clear target of this asset class instead of it being, for the protection of investors. It's more so just kind of a protection of the bankers. And this is a problem. And we've been discussing it for a while now. But also, talking about things happening within the U.S. We've been discussing the BRICS nations, and we've been talking about banks as well. And we do see here, Credit Suisse, is planning to cut 3,200 to 4,000 jobs. This is one of the largest banks in Switzerland. The bank recently posted a $1.6 billion loss, which marks its third straight quarterly loss. UBS and Credit Suisse account for more than 50% of total deposits in the country. Now, the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I really kind of laugh at things like this in regards to like the US going after crypto is around the world, we have been seeing adoption of crypto. And we're going to be discussing this here in a second. But to me, a lot of these banks will fail. And the reason why they will fail is because they will not move to crypto tech. I do believe that within the next 3 to 5 year span, we will see a lot of financial institutions as well as major banking clients running on crypto-powered systems. We will see the technology that really is powering the core of the monetary system revolving around crypto as well. A lot of these banks, for the most part, are also starting to feel the pressure of inflation as well as the current monetary issues as well. But we have been looking at what is happening around the world. And what I have been looking at is the BRICS. The BRICS are looking at new payment systems, but also they have been moving away from the US dollar. We do see Russia is considering a plan to buy as much as $70 billion in yuan and other friendly currencies. Why? To slow the ruble surge. Remember when the majorities thought the temporary ruble collapse was permanent? Now the world order is dramatically changing via bifurcation. And again, we are seeing a full-on major landscape change for the monetary payment system. And also, from Russia and even Iran, they will be integrating payment systems. This is very big news. Russia, Iran, and Qatar account for just under 60% of the world's gas reserves. We are seeing a major shift around this. When we look at things happening, right, I want you to all pay attention to the major shift happening around the BRICS nations. We've been talking about them stockpiling gold. A new monetary system will most likely be backed by gold. And I do believe that there will be a new world reserve currency. We've been discussing this as well for a little bit of time on this channel. If you guys have been a fan of the channel, first off, thank you. But also, you guys are probably all aware of this. Now, just recently, there was this article posted. This is from Zero Hedge. And this says, blame. UK risk losing its status as a sound financially sovereign nation. We've also been watching the UK closely as they have been adopting a lot of crypto technology to become a powerhouse behind crypto. And the UK has made it clear that they are focused on crypto. They want to be ahead of the curve because they also understand how large of an opportunity this is. But there is a lot of financial risk right now happening within the current monetary system. And just of recent, I talked to you guys about the collapse that is happening around the monetary system as well. There's a few steps there, and it was actually from Gold Telegraph. I don't know if we, let me see if we could find that tweet real quick just to kind of go back in time and reference it. But they have been discussing how the plans behind a CBDC world will work. And it is kind of centered on a collapse of the monetary system that we are currently running on. We've been looking into this quite a bit because right now, as things do stand, we are really kind of pushing into that monetary system, aka a gold-backed CBDC system. We actually do see it here. Step 1 through 6 is just to introduce a CBDC. We will have a collapse of this system. In fact, I would argue that we will most likely see a Black Swan event happen where everything kind of collapses similar to 2008, and we will have the CBDC, driven monetary system ushered in. We're starting to see a lot of effects from this already, kind of moving towards a digitization of the current financial system, but also digitization of many processes as well. But again, the UK has made it clear that they do want to be ahead of this. Going back as far as August 17th, they did say, UK crypto industry welcomes new stablecoin rules, awaits guidance. They're focused on regulations because regulations will allow them to not only move in heavily on this, but also they will be focused on crypto assets in general in regards to payments and their payment systems. And also, just recently on August 7th, the UK cannot afford to send mixed messages on crypto. Again, these areas that are not, looking at crypto or looking to adopt crypto are going to be the ones that are left behind. I said it time and time again that the United States will have no choice but to adopt crypto tech. Right now, currently, they're fighting it. They're fighting it because of the big banks. They're making a ton of money off of the current payment systems. They're making money off of the legacy system that is in place. But around the world, we are seeing a major shift. Why? Well, first off, the US for the longest time has utilized the US dollar as a financial weapon, specifically with the SWIFT network. These other nations want out. They want their own payment systems. They want to have full control over their monetary systems. That's why we look at the BRICS nations and what they are trying to incorporate and what they are trying to do. They are pushing towards a new financial system. We talked about why it will most likely be backed by gold. We've discussed this many times. But also, I do say that when we look at a lot of these other nations moving in on crypto, it's only going to streamline the fact that the US needs to as well. This is what's going to stop the US from not only targeting crypto, but also fighting against it. The SEC has been at the forefront of not only slowing down crypto, or trying to at least, but also trying to fight it greatly to protect not you and me, but the banking giants. Now within this, what have we been looking at? Well, we've been looking at the move towards new payment systems around the BRICS nations, and we've talked about how they would most likely utilize XRP, like the XRP ledger, not Swift, or not the RippleNet, sorry. But also, going back 6 months ago, we do see here, the new report suggests that RippleNet as an alternative to Swift for the Arab world. Now, we've talked about this a little bit in regards to CBDCs, talking about that major shift in the financial sector. Do I believe that we will see like the BRICS utilizing, RippleNet instead of like Swift? Not necessarily, but we will see probably a lot of other nations utilizing something similar to this, or just utilizing the XRP ledger, because again, they still see the efficiencies, similar to like RippleNet by utilizing the XRP ledger. But I'm not going to say that, Russia will utilize it, because again, like Russia's not going to utilize RippleNet because of sanctions, but what they can utilize is the XRP ledger. And we do see down here, like, in addition, Ripple became part of an internationally renowned authority, Digital Euro Association, to work on CBDCs. The mission was to contribute to public and political discourse through research, education, and by providing a platform and community for policymakers, technologists, and economists to discuss digital money related topics. And this is what we have been discussing a little bit in time. It's just kind of the connections to Ripple around specific areas. But when we look at the BRICS, right? Ripple has a lot of partnerships within that sector. Again, they're not partnered with, Russia or anything like that. But a few of the, areas that are interested in joining BRICS as well, they already have partnerships with. To me, they will not publicly utilize Ripple or RippleNet. They will most likely utilize the DLT that, Ripple does utilize, which is the XRP ledger. This is because it is decentralized. There's no control over it. And again, you still see the major efficiencies on the XRP ledger because this is what powers their on-demand liquidity mechanism. So when we look at this, I do think that XRP, with the XRP ledger, holds a very, big key for the future, financial systems. But we will also see crypto being at the forefront of them. And also, remember, Ripple is not going after Swift. It's just that the efficiencies that Ripple does provide, and a lot of even the Ripple partners as well, overshadow what Swift can do and accomplish. This is why we look into this a lot, because of the efficiencies compared to the inefficiencies, because the legacy systems are extremely inefficient. But also, this is why we also do see a lot of these nations pulling out of Swift, because of the financial weapon that it has been utilized for the longest time around sanctions. Again, you can kind of see what is happening right now around Russia. We've been discussing this for a while. I do believe that when we look at XRP as a current, remember, right? Because Ripple is not XRP, XRP is not Ripple. We've been looking at XRP specifically and how XRP can play a role in not only being, a choice for a new payment means, aka a bridge currency, but also how the XRP ledger could be utilized within a new payment system. I do think that when we look at payment networks, I think that RippleNet definitely does hold a big key there, but it's not going to be targeting Russia or anything like that because of sanctions. We need to kind of move away from something like that and kind of get to a decentralized world. And I think that that is what crypto is becoming. I think that DeFi is probably going to be the biggest innovation here, but we are going to see a lot of fighting happening within regulatory stance, which we've already kind of seen happening. But I do think that when we look at a lot of these nations, they're going to have to put regulations on the back burner a little bit to further innovate, because if they don't, guess what? They're going to miss out on one of the biggest opportunities to not only revolutionize their systems, but also to move forward in regards to a technological advancement. But we will most likely see regulations being a little bit more focused on in regards to discussions in the short term, until we do see a major change. And I think that major change is going to be coming from the BRICS. We need to all be watching the BRICS closely. We've been discussing them and reporting on them for a little bit of time. But just know that currently we are seeing a streamlined view on not only adoption of crypto-driven systems, but also we've been talking a lot around regulations and how we could possibly get to the point of XRP having clarity very soon within this year, if not in Q1 of 2023, which is what I'm more interested in, because that is the key that really kind of opens the barrier for all of these major nations, as well as major areas of opportunity for adoption of crypto to really kind of be unlocked. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys have more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As this is up to you all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.